Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is HD, and I'm here to bring you guys the next episode of the Game of Drones. And we're gonna have a little bit of a flashback here because we're going back to Ohana, and it's gonna be another Zerg versus Zerg. So exactly, Aga, his opponent, already realizing. Now, of course, this takes me back all the way to the first very episode of this series when TLO played against Druids Letas, and it was actually the same exact spawns here. So Aga is going to be replacing Druids. He's going to be the blue Zerg at the top left hand corner, and down to the bottom right, of course, we have below the wall, it is Game of Drones. And so far, this has been a great series of games from TLO. I really respect the replay pack he released. There have been some losses in here. If I recall correctly, there's been 2 or 3 already. And, you know, TLO has been playing these matches have all been extremely entertaining. So, very excited to see what's going to happen here. Another ZVZ, of course. And I have an update for you guys as well, because obviously the Game of Drones cannot continue on forever. Every great series must eventually die. I guess for now it'll be taking a temporary break once I run out of the replays in this pack. But never fear, because I actually just received a Stefano replay pack. And I went ahead and asked on Facebook what you guys thought would have been a clever name for the Stefano replay pack. I haven't decided yet. One really interesting one was Revenge of La Baguette. So that could be pretty funny. We'll see what name I decide to do. And that will be coming up in the very near future. So some more Zerg replays for you guys. And then I've got a bit of a hidden surprise at the end of that replay pack as well. Ah, nice from TLO to get that hatchery down. I thought he was going to get it blocked for sure. But the hatchery is going to come up here, and we'll see how TLO performs in another ZVZ. Now, as I said before, for whatever reason, in this pack of replays, there wasn't any versus Terrans at all. Perhaps his matches versus Terrans just weren't that interesting, or maybe they didn't go into the late game, or for whatever reason. But so far, his ZVZs and his ZVPs have been pretty spectacular, and I'm hoping that Stefano kind of rectifies that. I'm hoping to find some pretty good versus Terrans in Stefano's replay pack. So we'll see about that once the next series from HD's channel comes to you guys direct via the internet, and we'll see about that. Now TLO, of course, opting to go for the hatchery down after the spawning pool, and it seems like we have a pretty similar opening from Aga, not too sure how to pronounce his name. But we are going to have this pretty classic Zerg opening now in ZVZ is to actually expand, believe it or not. And I've been practicing a little bit on ladder as of recently. I've been playing Terran and Protoss too, as you guys might imagine. And in ZVZ especially, I've realized now that a lot of times you're going to want to expand first. It's very difficult to play a Zerg versus Zerg matchup without expanding because you can fall so far behind. And a lot of Zergs now have understood how to deflect one base aggression. So that's what we're kind of seeing right now. Aga also going for the speed upgrade before his opponent. Going to add the Baneling Nest now, so he can go aggressive off of 2 bases, and that looks to be what he's doing. So far, TLO has not grabbed any gas yet. So he's going to be a little bit behind in the tech department. We'll see how he fends off the early speed and the Banelings. 2 Zerglings coming in. They're going to try to make their way up the ramp. They do make their way inside, and this is a crucial scout because he's not going to see any speed upgrade. He's not going to see any gas at all, in fact. And from that, he can deduce that his opponent is obviously droning up extremely hard. And because Aga already went with the gas route and the Baneling Nest, he has now got to do some type of damage to equalize the game. And in fact, if we look at the income tab, he is starting to fall behind in drones now to the Game of Drones. Extractors finally on their way here for TLO. Looks like he's building 2 at a time, and he's going to start to mine that Vespine as quickly as he can. The Zerglings are now making their way across the map. 14 Zerglings on that production tab, as well as additional Banelings being made right outside the ramp. Look at the block from TLO though, and this is what I've noticed he's done so well is his queen blockage is really, really good. Now, he may lose some queens, but if they can buy time, it's all about buying time here to get the buildings up, to get the spine crawlers up, and to get his own type of units out on the field. And it might be okay, but it looks like now Aga is going to try to go around, not even going to try to bust through the queens. But look at this, TLO sees the rocks under attack. You can see it because of the creep and the vision And he's going to bring the Queen over there as well as one Crawler. Going to try to work down the Zerglings. Right now, Aga preparing some more Zerglings at the front door as well. And it looks like he's going to run in here as he's found an opening. The Queen was not blocking it. And now TLO in a lot of trouble. No Banelings even in the mixture here, just purely Zerglings. Aga might have wanted to wait to make some Banelings because now he doesn't have that destructive firepower, but he's gonna run right on into the main. Some of the Zerglings get trapped though, so only about half make it inside. Now this is a huge investment from Aga. He sent in so many Zerglings, he's got to do some serious damage. And if he can bring down this hatchery, that'd be huge, but there's 5 Queens here. They do have Transfuse. Aga's got to realize that attacking the hatchery is a futile effort, and some Banelings from Aga who are morphing next to the eggs that entire time. I actually did not realize that, and hello Dawe. And goodbye, Dawe. Sorry. I always forget to mute myself or to put myself on busy before the game starts. But wow, that was actually really cute by Aga, making Banelings at the larva spawn point. So I actually didn't even know that those were his Banelings. And trying to catch a little bit of a surprise right there. But unfortunately, did not work as he had expected. And now I've got to say, man, he threw away a lot of Zerglings. Now, if we look at the income tab, though, he has droned up. So he tried to catch up while attacking, which is a good idea. And he has been able to get almost as many drones as TLO. But he doesn't have any more units on the field, and this is where those roaches really become powerful. The roach switch is extremely potent in ZVZ. We also have TLO trying to secure the 3rd, whereas Aga has already grabbed his own 3rd. So Aga doing pretty well for himself, even though he didn't inflict that much damage. Only 4 workers killed, but you know, the Zergling pressure is what allowed him to be able to macro behind the scenes without having fear of any retaliation. So a pretty ingenious strategy here from Aga. Now he's going to bring some more Zerglings over to this hatchery, try to delay it, but that's not going to happen. There's already roaches there. Rocks have finally been broken down here by the double Crawlers, and that's going to allow TLO to reinforce the 3rd should he need to. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, TLO, this is the 7th episode of Game of Thrones. Will TLO finish out the series strong, or will he fall apart here at the end, allowing Stefano to maybe take a little bit of his glory? As most of you guys all know already, Stefano is the, a lot of people say he is the US, the North American hope, but of course the French will always disagree with that. But we can all agree he is the foreign hope. And we'll just have to see, man. TLO and Stefano, some of the biggest Zerg names to date. Of course, if you guys had to ask me, I would say Stefano is at a much higher caliber right now, so I'm very much looking forward to casting his replays when this series ends. And getting back to this game here, lots of upgrades coming down from both sides, especially TLO, who's now getting Roach Speed +1 and Armor. And of course his opponent also trying to catch up and follow suit as well, but TLO does have a distinct advantage because he has gone for the Infestation Pit first, whereas I don't see Aga with any Infestation Pit at all, and that can prove to be a problem here for Aga because Infestors are so good in ZVZ. And let's hope that Aga gets some Infestors pretty soon here, but of course he seems to be a little bit behind in tech. If we pull up that spending tab, and there you guys can see he has not spent as much in tech, having to spend more of that resource into army, and of course losing most of it in the attack into TLO's base. And here comes Aga. He's moving out across the map with many roaches and banelings. Aga thinking he's got an opportunity to attack here, but TLO once again setting the wall here to the north of his kingdom. And this is the wall. I don't know if Aga can break through this. Nice transfuse from TLO to keep the wall alive. Those crawlers are so important right now. He doesn't have nearly as large of a roach army, but with the spine crawlers, he can make a pretty strong hold. 1-1 are his upgrades, and Aga doesn't have as many upgrades, so TLO having a distinct advantage here. He just doesn't have the concave. Aga breaking through a slight corridor here might have a possibility that he will run into the natural. Of course, that would be quite risky. And Aga playing a dangerous game here, the game of drones. There's only one winner and the rest will die. Will he run in here? He's trying to get in, but every time he does, he finds himself in this precarious situation where, you know, running up to the natural where it's completely fogged out and dark is very risky. You don't know what's up there waiting for you, and it can be an extremely bad decision. It can be a trap, actually. So he's got to be very careful here, does not want to run up there. Now deciding to pull back. However, there are 5 Infestors on the way for TLO, so TLO is going to have that tech advantage here. And like I said before, Infestor's so powerful in ZVZ, I still don't see an Infestation Pit for Aga at all. In fact, he's going for Hydralisks. Oh, man. This actually brings me back a little bit of deja vu. We saw Roach Hydra being used against TLO's Mutas in a different matchup in this series of Game of Drones, but that game TLO lost. But this time TLO is going Roach Infestor, and I do think Roach Infestor is more cost effective than Roach Hydra. But a lot of that also depends on the positioning and the upgrades. Aga right now at 1-2, TLO at 2-1, very similar upgrades here. And TLO's gonna move in with a huge army. He's gotta be careful, uses Fungals to get away, doesn't want to lose any of his Infestors though. That Infestor's so close to dying, and he brings up the rest of his army to save it. Nice play by TLO, did not invest too much in that attack, but Aga's, positioning clearly superior right now. And his army supply actually maxed before TLO's. TLO trying to double expand here, grabbing the 4th and the 5th. No response as of yet from Aga, who's now still remaining on 3 bases and maxed out on Roaches and Hydras. He is also going to have the 2 armor upgrade coming up, but not before TLO finishes his upgrades at 2-2, which have now just finished. I think TLO here is in a pretty good spot. He is almost maxed out himself, just has to get some pretty good Fungals and maybe fight next to his Roach, his Spine Crawler wall, and he should be in a good spot. But here's an opening, and of course, if you expand to the 4th and the 5th, they are not protected by the Crawler wall, and Aga's gonna find that vulnerability, and he's going to attack where he smells weakness, and he's gonna go for this hatchery. No response from TLO, cannot even hope to save that. The hatchery will fall down. The acid from the Roaches burn, and the drones are going to try to run away here. They will make it out alive, but look at that Roach Hydra army from Aga. It's absolutely ginormous. Both players' income pretty similar here, but that Hydra Roach army is so large, it's all really going to come down to TLO's Infestor control. He's got many Infestors here. Also got some Hydras in the mix too. I really like that. Just to give him that added range and DPS. Good Fungals coming out from TLO, but this is a terrible concave for him. His upgrades are at an advantage, though. He has 1 extra armor over Aga's forces, but TLO, realizing the power of concaves and positioning in StarCraft 2, has to fall back to his crawlers now, bringing in some Hydras to try to draw and bait fire from the opponent. And TLO actually should win out this battle with the Fungals, with his superior upgrades, and now I believe he's even got the larger army. He's gonna push the enemy forces back onto the creep, and TLO wins that battle. Very well done, but a battle does not equate to the war here. Aga's actually got plenty of macro hatcheries, so he can keep up in production for as long as he's got banked resources. TLO, of course, having the actual nodes hatched down, so he can mine more money over time. But like I said, the winner of the battle does not determine the winner of the war. And Aga's coming in here. He's got a good position, but he doesn't realize there's Infestors underground. They're spawning Terrans now. And I don't know, man. Aga's got to be very careful how he plays this. He's going to hide behind the weeds as well, giving him some pretty good positioning. But it looks like he just does not have the forces to break down TLO. TLO and Aga now sharing the same upgrades. Aga finally getting an infestation, a bit of his own. It's a beautiful engage from Aga. He's gonna crush a huge army of Roaches and Hydras here, and this is what Aga's been waiting for. He's got to be careful though. The further in he gets, the closer to the reinforcements and the Infestors, and it looks like Aga might just be able to break this army. TLO in a lot of trouble, has to pull back, has to wait for reinforcements. Remember, TLO is the red Zerg. And this is such a tenuous situation for TLO. I don't think he's going to win, guys. I think he's going to lose. He just lost a huge chunk of his army. But now I'm looking at the supply tabs, and TLO actually ahead by 20 supply. I don't know how in the world that is true. But what a fungal! What a fungal by TLO. Exactly what he needs. That whittles down the Roaches quite a bit. And a massive battle here encompassing the entire screen. I think TLO is going to win out. And that may be just Aga pushing in a little bit too far. I mean, you can win the battles, but the further in you push to enemy territory, the more you have to be careful about enemy reinforcements, and TLO proving that his reinforcements were quick and ready to go. coming in a timely fashion, and he will be able to crush the enemy army. But even more importantly, I don't think he lost that many infestors at all. Really, he kept most of them alive, and they can regenerate their energy underground. In fact, they can go on little hidden mission attacks now, and Aga's got to be very, very careful here. He does not have spines or spores to help detect this location, and the infestors are coming in. They're gonna expend their final remaining energy on these infested Terrans, and that should be enough to kill off this hatchery. Don't know where they're going right now. TLO with a little bit of miscontrol. He's got to use the timing on the infested Terrans as they do expire, and it looks like Aga getting the opportunity to come in, and the infested Terrans are gonna burrow. How often have you guys ever seen that? I actually have never seen an infested Terran burrow. It's just now come to my attention that they can. So, wow, TLO and Aga both trading huge armies here, but now I think Aga starting to realize the folly in not grabbing the 4th and the 5th earlier on, because he hasn't been mining this for very long. He has not been mining this at all, and if we look symmetrically, TLO has. He's been mining his 4th and his 5th, and that makes a huge difference in the long-term game of StarCraft 2. He's got more resources to play with, and as a result, I really think TLO here kind of holding a slight lead. Hopefully Aga can get it together and reclaim the 5th hatchery, or excuse me, just claim the 5th, as he hasn't even touched it yet. He is mining the 4th right now, and we do have a Spire on the way from TLO. This is the late game Zerg versus Zerg tactics that you must employ. You have to go to Greater Spire. You have to get some Brute Lords out. They're too valuable not to have in your army. And TLO maybe just gonna buy time here until his Brute Lords actually come out before he commits to a big attack. And I like that strategy. Here comes Aga, though, feeling the pressure, thinks he needs to make a play. He's also trailing in the upgrades once again. Now, as we can see, TLO going up to 3-3. He had his hive finished already. Aga still on Lair Tech. And that is not good. That is not good at all for our Blue Zerg, for our challenger here. He may just fall just like Druids let us. What are these two changelings doing? Are they going to mix in with the army? They are so sneaky, man. Nice job by Druids to keep some changelings in there. And he should be able to dispatch of these infested Terrans pretty easily. But I do fear right now for Aga, because TLO, the master so far, has shown us how he dominates his kingdom, how he never loses when the going gets tough. And he's got 3-3 and Greater Spire about to come up, I would imagine. He's getting into a big fight here, which is not a good position for him. Good fungals from Aga, and beautiful fungals from Aga. This could be what Aga needs to do. He needs to kill off the enemy army before 3-3 finishes. TLO in a lot of trouble. TLO launches counter fungals off. Does he have enough fungals to break this army before they can burrow and regenerate? I don't believe it. Game of Drones, aka TLO, losing the battle in a huge way. That's why you do not engage in unfavorable positions, and this is exactly what Aga needed. He broke the enemy army before 3-3 finished. You couldn't have asked for a happier ending for the challenger here. And now what will Aga do? I don't think he should continue the attack. It's just too risky. We saw him try to do that before and run into a wall of reinforcements. He should regroup with what he's got here, because in that battle, he essentially forced the enemy TLO to expend all his banked resources to replenish the army. And now Aga, I don't know about this. I think he should come back, secure the 5th, and continue to macro up, go up to Hive, and get his own Greater Spire and 3-3 on the way. But perhaps he feels he's too far behind, and he's going to make another attack here, and I don't know about this. This army is fresh, replenished, and ready for war. And Aga's in a lot of trouble here. His Roaches now are not on the same upgrade level as his Hydras. 3-3 against 2-2. He's going to get surrounded from all angles. Fungals coming down, and Aga has a GG. That's it. That's all she wrote. And a valiant effort by Aga in another ZVZ from TLO. But TLO is able to secure yet another victory here in episode 7 of Game of Drones. And by the way, guys, there are a couple more episodes left here from this replay pack that I will be casting all of them because you guys seem to enjoy it so much. Following this, I will be, as I said, be doing a Stefano replay pack. And I've got a surprise for you guys at the end of that one. It should be pretty fun and interesting. Hopefully you guys tuned into the last replay because I gave away some headsets. You guys probably can still get in on that if you guys check out episode 6. And that'll be it for me, guys. I'll bring you guys some more videos in the very near future, probably tomorrow. Hope you guys all enjoyed. And this is HD, signing out.